Connery force has been pushed off by Emerald. If we were to have a look at the map, Kettle's Crossing is a 2-squad affair, so that's 2 squad and 2 squad. But look, that is a huge platoon plus Vanu Awful Pit. I wonder what's going on there. Sleepy Hollow, very small numbers. Hatcher Air Station is 2 to 3 squads roughly. Epsilon Site, that's small numbers. Broken Vale is still going with 60 seconds. We're going to go back to Broken Vale because it's platoon 4 sizes now.
I'm down here at Four Fingers, and it looks like for all the effort that Connery put into getting this and trying to push forward, they have abandoned this, and this is an incredibly dangerous base to abandon. This is probably the longest run time of any base in PS2 from the spawn room to the capture point. It's almost a solid minute, and that's if nobody's shooting at you. This is almost the kind of place where you can't spawn in. You need to come in with your own galaxy and take this place back.
Oh, it's super close at Broken Vale, but I think how many they've got in the capture point. With 30 seconds to go, that max is going to be crucial. I see more Vanu though with 20 seconds to go. This would be a big play for Connery if they can take it back. But the reinforcements, they've lost the roof and they're just streaming in now. It's going to be res grenade wars. There's still a few Connery forces left over. 10 seconds. It's so close. One final push for Emerald. Oh, they're on the point. It's flipping back and forth. Who's got the control? Come on, Connor, you need to get on the point. And Emerald, you need to get them off. 6 seconds. Oh my god, now the point's into contention again. And this is just mass res grenade wars. Okay, lots of dead. Emerald, res grenade and res grenade. Both teams are going to get up at the same time. Free for all. Oh wait, no, it's just NC res grenades. Oh, stopped on 5-second marker. That was close. I didn't see any VS res grenades. That would have been interesting because they were both all dead and all got res at the same time. Would have been bloody chaos.
Now, very good for Connery. They are back on Gurney Dam right now, and that entire force that secured Gurney Dam is the people who just hopped up to where you are. They now
so they jumped out.
Emerald hop all over the place. If are they going to come back here and they're going to lose the other base? They got 90 seconds right now to come back here.
It's quick enough to do a redeploy. I can also see that they're using dedicated Galaxy pilots who are basically just ferry units, so they go to the next base in preemptive and just spawn in and drop. Or they redeploy. Okay, yeah, we're already seeing the redeploying happening. But what's frustrating is... Oh, there's barely anybody here. This is just a distraction force. There's nobody on the capture point for Vanu. It's just a nuisance force.
Don't give up. We're still there.
Oh god. Hey, Mr. Harasser, pay attention. Front door. There you go.
I'm headed up to Kessel's Crossing.
Twin harassers, oh my goodness, check that minimap. Yes, the harassers are being a nuisance. Yes, they're being super effective. But if they had just a few more people... Nah, you know what, with 40 seconds, I don't see how they could hold this. I mean, they're doing an extremely valiant job, but I think Emerald is just timing this perfectly. They know how long it takes to get to the point.
Stretched across from the north to the south, and Connery pulled back again like a cobra wait to strike. This is very interesting. I want to see... The fog of war definitely makes this a little bit more complicated to follow, but the decisive strikes are Connery's. I'm seeing them winning one-on-one whenever they fight against Emerald, but Emerald just keeps grouping up.
See that there's the Southgate checkpoint fight ended, and at Four Fingers there's barely anyone there, so there's no fighting going on technically in the south. The Treehouse of Horrors has been probably an infiltrator hack, being a nuisance, and him being a nuisance is stopping the Treehouse of Horrors, allowing a connection to Lambda and construction site Sigma. So in theory, if I was Connery, I'd want to get my people from Sigma to Horrors as quickly as possible, or Lambda. The risk is that Gurney Dam is going to be fully saved, so it'd be sketchy to kind of pull those people out. The thing is, Connery at the moment is fighting to Emerald's tune. You know, they are fighting on their own bases, and the only one that they're constantly trying to push is Gurney Dam, which is great because it's keeping pressure off their own bases.
This is the tempo that no server has managed to figure out how to break. Emerald will win the opening, they will get the decisive bases that they want, and then they will basically just hop around. And calling it redeploy side is frankly not doing it justice. Redeploy side would mean you're only defending bases. They managed to do this by also hopping forward. They're moving exceptionally large numbers of people around to defend their bases, but they also have very dedicated squads forward. I'm here at Hatcher Air Station, and they only hold 1 point, but they are doing work, and they are holding more than their number here, just trying to hold a point or two and keep the base ticking. They're defending with time forward.
The Hatcher Air Station is a very long base cap. with the Charlie capture point being next to the spawns, it definitely favours the defenders more than some of the other hard large outposts.
Hey, Redlet, when you mentioned those galaxies, those dedicated galaxy drivers, it's interesting you say that because now Connery seems to be patrolling the south, looking for those galaxy and then assassinating them as soon as they see them.
Up here at the north, at Sleepy Hollow, which I can't remember what the old name of this base was. I used to call it Clegg's Landing. It's the Broken Biolab. There is a very small force of VS here, and they've basically been here since the beginning opening, kind of just letting this tick down. And they keep on pulling more than their numbers, and I don't think that Emerald has managed to actually run them off this base. They run them off the points, they get a little bit of points back, and these guys keep on coming back. This is absolutely what Connery needs to do to hold the lane or push forward.
The distraction nuisance force that's at Hatcher Air Station, there are other NC forces, but the nuisance team is N117, which is actually D117 on live server on Emerald. They specialise. We've seen them before. They were the ones that were on the Esmir match that were attacking Esmir munitions, or as we know, Matheson's Triumph. And they specialise in guerrilla warfare, and we can see that they're just being a nuisance. Going to one point, you push us off, oh great, now we'll go to the other point. Oh, you got us affluent, now we'll go to this point. And they're just being a nuisance that, maybe not necessarily knowing that they'll win the fight, but playing well together, picking off enemy teams that come at them, and then just holding on to a point, making a very long save cap and preventing the Connery force from fighting a CAN data hub, i.e. on one of their own bases.
Connery is being quite dogged about the Gurney Dam cap. They keep on going back there, and they seem to learn how to do it better every time. This is probably the most dangerous thing for Emerald right now, and I was right. They've managed to get vehicles back onto this point. This time it's an entire pack of Sunderers.
Gosh, they really want it, don't they?
They do really want it, and as I said, they keep on learning. They keep on saying, "Oh, well, that didn't work the first time. Let's try it a different way." This is kind of scary for Emerald. Eventually, they're going to figure out what the key is to crack this nut.
We're seeing small-scale infantry fighting at Charlie Point. It's not something you normally see in Server Smash. It's more skill and squad oriented, just the number of lanes kind of separating the teams out.
This is members of Havoc, 56, and I believe Future Crew who are pushing Gurney Dam, which is the same group that's been pushing since the very beginning. It is the same group of people, just keep on coming back. They are not moving off this lane, and they let the...
They really want it, and it's admirable. They got the Sunders to spawn in, I get that, although it's kind of this very little cover, you can always be rocketed. But I like the fact that they're trying to use the Sunders to fight outside, not inside. That's good. Keep them away from the... Once they get to the door, it's almost game over. You need to fight them away.
Unfortunately, the huge advantage of this base is not vehicles, it's air, and that's what Emerald just brought in. They brought in a small...
Liberator, Reaver, Grand Pounders, yeah.
And this is going to take care of any vehicles that are out here.
I mean, if they really seriously want to take this base, this is where I would commit your Air Force. Come here when it's a 2-minute timer and you've got the outside, and then bring your own Air Force. Because, I tell you what, if Emerald didn't have their air, if Connery had their Air Force here, this would be a different story. I mean, because if Connery had their Air Force and was able to ground pound, Emerald would not get anywhere near the capture point building.
And this is the kind of
pulling back and then going somewhere else.
Yeah, but if you're good, whether that's a resources thing or a hesitancy thing, or we just want to conserve our forces, your guys on the ground are fighting for the point, and they could theoretically get it and take the base if you committed yourself. But what's the Air Force gonna... Is it helping in any sense? I mean, is it actually negating Emerald's ability to assist on the ground? No, because we just saw their Air Force assist on the ground at Gurney Dam.
We know from the previous matches that Connery has had a hard time gathering an air force, which is, that's unusual.
Well, we'll see.
Connery was known for an air force.
We'll ask them at the end to see what's going on, but we can also see more small squad play going on, this time at Huracan Secure Storage. It's small nuisance squads. They're using Valkyries as extremely mobile spawn-in kind of harassment forces. So Valkyrie has come to Huracan Secure Storage, he's put down a beacon, or he's, getting extra squad forces in. Maybe they're rotating members around other squads. And this is LVRG. and they've got the capture point, and it's just being a nuisance. And it's pulled a full squad plus of Connery to come respond to it. And by no means is it enough with Emerald's Air Force to actually guarantee that they get the capture point.
Construction site Sigma has a very good point hold going on it for Emerald. They don't have a whole lot up here helping them. They've lost several of their maxes, and Connery is just trying to pick them apart here. They're surviving mostly on medics at the point.
Oh, Valkyrie's fighting a scythe. They decide to go at it, you know, can I get him, stop him from rocketing his own troops? Oh, but here comes the Galaxy reinforcements. This surely is it. Oh no, this NC force from Emerald's doing a good job at defending the point. It's, again, all small-scale fighting that's going on. No large-scale, where the scale matters less, and it's all just Mega Zerg redeployed.
I'm over at Broken Vale, trying to see what Connery's doing here. It looks like they're trying to do a point hold survive into that stack building.
Oh, that medic went down and he totally left his guy. He didn't miss. Oh well, he's got some friends now anyway. Wow, both teams are dropping and beaconing at the exact same time, but again, the timer inexorably is just counting down in Connery's against Connery's favour.
This group of Connery at Broken Vale, they have the numbers right now and they look like they're in a very good position, but they have no spawns that I can see. They don't have a Galaxy above them, they have no air support, and they don't even have very many maxes, if any, on this point. This is an incredibly, weak and tenuous hold that they have, and already you can see Emerald spawning back in and pushing them from all sides. This is probably the best place they have to do a squad hold at this point, a point hold, but they need more than this. They're just going to get wiped off the point.
See, the fight at Huracan Secure Storage, interesting difference was that this started off small. And we've said, normally when a team attacks, they just go full in, send everybody they have, and then just fight it out. But this fight started small. It was like 2 or 3 people, and then it grew, and it grew, and it grew, and it's gotten to the point now. There is a huge NC Emerald force on the point, continuing to hold it, despite constant slight resistance from Connery. And Connery is now committing huge numbers to try and do a last-second save on this base. So, it's props to Emerald for doing a good job at not showing their full hand and just gradually reinforcing as required. Connery's tried to play smart. Sorry, go ahead.
Huracan Secure Storage is a very, very dangerous base. It hides the population that is actually attacking it in the amp station hex. So there are far more people here than what it looks like. And Connery is coming in for a last-second save. They're gal dropping in. They have a
10 seconds. Everyone just needs to run inside. Run inside, Emerald. Connery, run inside, go to the point. You can't afford not to run inside. More people run inside. On the point, 2 seconds, 1 sec. Oh, Emerald's got it. Wow, that was close. That was 1 second, and Emerald takes the base. And now, it's completely flipped on its head. Now we have an instance where Emerald has 4 whole minutes, 4 minutes of already full-scale fighting that's going on at this capture point. So Connery has to hold this for an extremely long period of time against a defending force that has the spawn rooms, has an air force that they can call in if they require, and okay, yes, Connery does have spawns. These are exposed. These can be picked off easily by vehicles if they, air force from Emerald. So we'll have to see what goes on here, because this happened exactly the same case at Broken Vale, and if I'm not mistaken, Broken Vale hasn't been flipped since Emerald took it, or am I wrong? They've tried to take it, but they haven't actually gotten it.
Yeah, it has not been captured since they captured it, but it's come close. But again, the attack that Connery was making there just did not have enough support. They didn't have enough spawn sunders. They didn't have enough galaxies. They didn't have enough air. They didn't even have maxes on the point. That was not going to survive for the 5 minutes or longer, depending on how the point flips, that base was going to take to cap.
Well, I like what Connery's doing. They're choosing not to fight at the capture point, but then again they've got a lot of people. They're spreading out and they're moving out. We don't see any of Emerald's Air Force at the moment on this base trying to defend, although it's still at the 2-minute 30 marker, but it's ticking down. We see what there is of Connery's heirs here, or at least galaxies in a couple of sites, and they are spreading out smartly, looking for any spawn sunders that belonged to Emerald, and then just choking the bridge, preventing any clean move to the capture building.
It looks like Emerald's main wing is over in Nason's, and a smaller air wing is over by Sleepy Hollow. But they seem pretty docile at the moment.
You know, I keep on seeing Connery use these galaxies, and the galaxies are basically throwaway. Whether there's too much hitting them because they don't have air superiority, or whether they don't have people who are acting as gunners, that's something we see from Emerald. We see Emerald keep its galaxy alive and try and use it as an artillery platform. Connery can't do that. Honestly, at this point, if you're throwing away that many resources, you need to start switching to Valkyries. If you're just going to throw the vehicle away, throw away less resources. You know, if you're not pouring maxes into it and hauling them across the continent, why are you wasting the resources on grabbing?
Well, here's another thing on timers. 1 minute 30 for secure storage, but 60 seconds for Four Fingers. So Connery is gambling on taking a base, which they may do, but we see Emerald's Air Force has turned up, and 1 minute and 20 seconds is still plenty of time, but they're going to throw away Four Fingers, because we don't see any of the Air Force or guys down there. So if you would watch Hurricane Storage, I'm going to go over to Four Fingers and watch that.
I'm heading to Hurricane Storage.
30 seconds to go. Oh, a bit too fast, sorry. 30 seconds to go on Four Fingers. Single capture point. Fairly well back. I don't see how this is going to be saved. There's just too many NC. And they're out popped here, is Connery. You guys, why are you going up? You need to go down. At 10 seconds, you can go for the point. Oh, that max is going to be difficult. And Emerald falls back to the capture point for the last few seconds, just as a good safeguard. It's just not enough. And they had all the motion sensors and whatnot, so no one could have got in without being detected.
At Hurricane Secure Storage, I just saw an amazing little Valkyrie play by Emerald. All of Connery was basically outside the point, trying to defend the push across the bridges. They were all, along the side. Nobody's really back at the point. A very steaky Valkyrie came up over the cliff and dropped 3 guys and tried to take the point back. It managed to get repelled by Connery, but that was a really, really good play by Emerald.
It was just, oh yeah, Vault again. So by the force that took Four Fingers was Brit on Live. A penchant, they like Sky Whales and C4, and often found in Upside Down Harassers. Originally from Watterson and TR, they were created at the launch of PS2. And the focus in the Smash is air tactical leadership bus drivers. But as we can see, they also like taking bases.
And Hurricane Secure was just captured.
Yep. So it's take a base, give a base. It's not really.
And that was Mercenaries, which is a TR outfit on Connery, and they do a lot of high level.
And we're back at Gurney Dam again. We see Kessel's was being poked, and Hatcher. I bet it's that same D117 at Hatcher's. Go and have a look at construction site Epsilon for me while I go have a look at Gurney Dam. Has any team got dominance, Lanzer, as far as air is concerned?
It looks like Connery has a sort of air wing at Naum Amp Station, and Emerald's still down in the south middle, but I would say they're largely avoiding each other at this point. So
you fly above the trees, I'll fly below the trees, and nobody needs to get hurt.
The attack.
I'd say at one point in time, one air wing has the dominance in the middle, and then another time, the other team has dominance in the middle.
You were saying, Red?
The attack at construction site Epsilon was perhaps a squad, maybe 2 of NC, and this is a relatively easy point to hold if you have a lot of people, because there's a lot of height that you can gain. But the Connery just sent too many people back to clear this off, and again there were no harassers or anything to help the NC out here.
Now reinforcements are being thrown by both teams into the Gurney Dam fight. There was a big push by the NC for the capture point, but I don't think they realized the sheer level of reinforcements. If I check this outside, incoming for Vanu, yes, they are coming in, they are beginning to swarm in, and I think it's only a matter of time until they retake the capture point. If ever you wanted your Air Force to make its presence felt and help us out, it would be now, and that would be very helpful in Gurney Dam with 2 minutes to go until a save. There we go, the point is finally flipping as we thought.
Connery's Air Force is now engaged with Emerald's Air Force over by Sleepy Hollow. Just kind of trench warfare style, shooting each other across the way.
Now, this particular point hold at construction site Beta is a completely different animal here. There is a Sunder that is not deployed, but it is a double Bulldog Sunder inside the point room, able to look at 3 different doors and just pour fire onto them as the NC continue to hold this point. And the NC are almost completely on top of these raised platforms in the corner, able to defend.
It is a brutal fight going on at Gurney Dam with 1 minute and 35 seconds to go. Both teams are in the capture room. The VS holds the northeast, the NC holds the southwest, and they are just lobbing grenades and pounding the nutsacks out of each other. But it is Connery that currently barely holds the day with fresh reinforcements coming across the bridge. I love the Sunders coming in now, finally, from Connery. I'd rather like to see this Sunder right here stranglehold that bridge. 60 seconds to go. I'd rather see the Sunder go in and just block it and then buy precious time. Or maybe
the difference in the Galaxy play. Oh, never mind. We're having a whale fight. Their Galaxies are fighting each other on the ground practically at construction site Beta.
Oh, it's a brutal fight, but the VS are finally outnumbered, and we see a squad now incoming from the rear, from the teleport room. Lovely blocking Sunders by Connery to try and buy time with the debris and whatnot. 35 seconds is simply not enough. Emerald is playing very patiently, and they know that they just need to go into the capture point on the 10-second marker, and they can get to the point from the doors. And it's another crushing push by Emerald off of Connery. I mean, Connery does so well to get so far, but the problem is, I'm not saying they're not planning ahead for the last 30 seconds, but you need to think, right, last 30 seconds, they will throw everything they've got in a mad dash. What have we got to stop that? And it's that point you think, well, did I save onto my grenades? Did I hold onto my C4? Yes, I could have used it earlier, but did I save it for that last 30 seconds? Because that's when it counts.
This is construction site, I don't know what, Sigma perhaps? Beta? Sigma. Down here at in the south, and this I don't see Connery being able to save. They just simply do not have enough people down here to get this back. And this is the game that Emerald plays. You know, you can save 2 bases, but you're going to lose 1. They're going to attack you in so many different places, and you have to hold somewhere. And if they do it correctly, they wind up.
I wonder how they're doing the leadership here, because I'm seeing Brit again, and Brit was the team that just took Forefinger, so they're obviously pushing along the south and working the south. So the squad commanders have free reign to go where they want. Does the platoon leader just say you're in control of the south? They can just attack how they like, or are they being actually micromanaged? You know, you go here and you go here.
This was VGSS that took that at construction site Sigma, and now, especially because Connery is not defending SRP Nanite Relay Station, the south is pretty much lost. It looks like they're sending people back to Treehouse of Horrors. They keep on making that push for Gurney Dam, but this is a lot of territory that Connery's given up. They're managing to hold fairly well in the north and repel these
Broken
attacks.
Veil in the last second just got stopped. Oh, it's crucial. I'm watching the fight. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get in here. It's pretty brutal. Lots of grenades. Lots of grenades and more grenades. And when grenades fail, throw your head. But the Emerald's got themselves the capture point, so they have made a very, very last second save. I just saw that on the map at the very, very end there.
And this is the thing. Emerald has managed to keep galaxies up. They've managed to keep other spawns up. They have people who are not directly in the spawn point, and that allows them to maybe make that last second dash back onto the point and get those last things. Connery doesn't have that. They don't have Sunders put up, and I don't know if they're pulling them and they're getting killed by Air Force that I'm not seeing or what, but that is making the difference in some of these last second caps.
I have to question this choice of reinforcements from Connery. I mean, can they pull it off? Got the ground. Oh, that grenade, that Halloween grenade right there. Oh, they must have a Sunder too. Is that a beacon? They come somewhere. No, they don't have a Sunder. They just have the high ground. Maybe they did at one point. Oh well. At any rate, Broken Veil is the new conglomerate force is set up, and the timer is just ticking back into their favour now. They're just going to stay here and fight. As long as they can fight on their base, make it full save, and then fight in the enemy base, that would suit them just fine. Interesting that construction at Lambda's not going anywhere. Treehouse of Horrors has been saved, Signal's been taken, SRP Nanite Relay, big force from Connery has had to come back and save that.
There's a very, very large force in the cave.
People in the stream chat are asking to give the stats a bit of love.
Oh yeah, well it's 1 minute. I was going to do it on the hour marker, but I will show the stats in a second here. You guys just hold with me. And we can see Emerald Sunder 3 minutes on the save rather than a capture. Be going right. So while we're watching this, we'll go down to the brutal corridors. I'll just throw some of them up for you. Wow, check the kills out. It's neck and neck. I have never seen that at Server Smash. Usually one team's a couple of K ahead of each other. Let's see it in incrementals. We don't have enough time.
This is amazing. I don't know if Connery redeployed people away here. There was obviously not communication between squads. Even though they got Emerald off the point here at SRP, as I said, they did not clear the spawns.
Emerald! Oh, they didn't clear the spawns and Emerald just stayed. Now they got the capture point and it's 90 seconds to go.
This is a huge, huge problem. This is literally making the difference in these pushes. Connery goes somewhere, they don't manage to keep up a spawn, they don't have a galaxy, they don't have a way to get back onto the point. Emerald does. This base now has to be resecured.
And the map timeline says all. Really, Connery has stuttered to get started. In fact, if I look at this correctly, Connery so far has only succeeded in taking 3 bases, including neutrals, the entire game. Whereas we see the Emerald Force, they've taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They've managed to capture 12 bases. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they've got a 12-point lead, or base lead, because they've obviously lost some, but we can see, and now see the thing is, the Emerald Force still on control of the capture point. Now Connery's had to redeploy back in full numbers, but the terrain is now working against them when it was working for them in the beginning. Getting into these narrow choke points with 30 seconds to go. Bring up the leaderboard in a second, guys, and we'll just show who's performing and whatnot.
Keep rolling.
This is a classic example of the air just allowing so much more to happen. Emerald has its air hovering between construction site beta and bases to the south.
Oh,
and
that's smart beacons. You know the hole in the cave at Nanite Relay? They're actually using that to put their beacons down on the capture point to allow immediate reinforcements. That being the Emerald team. And they got the base. Now, don't get me wrong, there probably were other fires going on that the Connery commander